Hello. Today I want to demonstrate to you some of the textual xtML user experience improvements that have been done associated with the issue 12.675. So first thing I want to show is creating a new project. If I create an xtML project, name it, not only can I select model compilers from the project creation wizard, but now I can also select the persistence format. So the default is SQL instances, but I can also select textual XTML and choose my tab policy. So when I create this project, everything in here is already saved as text. So this is my system diagram. You'll notice I have the graphical editor tab down here, but I've got an additional tab for textual XUML. So if I click on that, I can see the contents of the file containing the system project. So if I create a package in here and go back to the textual XUML, you can see that package definition. And inside the package, you can also see the textual XUML for this particular package as well. Okay, now I'm going to import the microwave oven project from the quick start menu. This is a textual project, so this is a great place to start. And if I open that up, let me close all these real quick. You can see the textual XML is there as well. And I can look in the component diagram. I also have the text here. This is the description field for my component as well as the packages contained in the component. In the subsystem diagram, I can see the classes and relationships here. Another thing that has been added is for every model element, I can right click and open with, and there's a new editor called xtML text editor, which will open the file associated with that element. So this is a class, for example, and you can see the description of the class and all the attributes and identifiers and things like that. I can still double click on a class with a state machine to see the state diagram. And down here I have the state and event matrix as normal, but also the textual XTML rendering of the state event matrix. If I go back to the component and open up the data types, you'll see in a package diagram, you'll see that my palette is restricted. So I only have types, exceptions, external classes, and components here. That is because not all the informal diagrams are supported by textual XML. So sequence diagrams, communication diagrams, etc. This also applies to the context menus. So in here, only the elements that are supported by the format are shown. Now, if I go to my project properties and switch my persistence format to SQL, Bridgepoint asks me if I want to load and persist my model. So this basically ensures that all of the files that are associated with this project are the same format. I can cancel this, but it's not recommended to switch between formats without loading and persisting. So I'm going to hit OK. It will do that for me. You'll notice that the textual XML tab has disappeared and my palette has been updated with more options. So for example, I can create an object node, and this is an element that is not supported by the textual XML. So if I go back to my properties for my project and try to switch back to textual XML, it'll ask me if I want to load and persist. I say OK. And now I get a warning that says that the project associated with this file contains the following elements that are not supported by the textual format. And it gives me the list of elements that are not supported. And it warns me that persisting the file may result in inconsistent or lost data. So I'm going to say no to not persist this file. And if I look at the textual XML tab, it still has the old contents of my file, which is the SQL insert statements. So I'm going to delete this file. And when I delete this file, or sorry, when I delete this element, it's going to repersist the file, but now that everything that's unsupported is gone, it will be able to persist it as text. So when I delete that, it repersists the file, and if I go to textual XML, you can see once again I have the text. Now, it is not recommended to directly edit the textual xtUML files. That is on the roadmap for the future, but for now, it's just the persistence format. But if I do edit them, or if perhaps I have a merge conflict or some other change coming from an external tool like a version control system, and there's a parse error or a semantic error, it will warn me. So if I, for example, delete this semicolon and save the file, I get an error that says that errors occurred while loading xtml files. Check for the correct syntax and restart Bridgepoint. So you'll also notice that the project has been decorated with a little red X, which tells me that something has not been loaded correctly. And if I go to my error log, I can see the errors associated with that load. So I can dig in more if I don't understand the problem. If I delete another semicolon and save, I don't get the dialog again because I checked the do not show this again box, but I still have the red X here by my project. Now if I fix the two issues that I created and save the file, the red X goes away, which indicates that my project is consistent once more. So that's just helpful to be an indication of whether or not there's an issue in a project. Now, it is recommended to completely restart Bridgepoint after dealing with one of these problems. In this particular case, Bridgepoint was able to recover, but not in all cases. And so it's best to just fix the syntax errors and then completely restart Bridgepoint. And that's all I have to show for you today.